Violin suitcase. In Prague, a music teacher was forbidden to teach music because of his Jewishness. He kept his valuables in his violin. If the violin could not play music, it could be well used as a safe to house a meagre inheritance for his children. 3 girls and 2 little boys, and a baby. Their mother had died of puerperal fever. On a house search, drunken fascist authorities demanded to be entertained. They pulled up 5 chairs and a sofa and sat with the music teacher's children on their laps. The lack of resonance in the violin disappointed them. It was a case of bad violinist or bad violin. They could not be bothered to find out. They played a game with the violin teacher. He and his violin could have the privilege of being cremated together or buried together. Bad music was not permissible in a former capital of the German-speaking Austro-Hungarian Empire. With the children now clustered around his knees, the violinist chose to be buried with his violin. That way, his children might possibly have a slight chance of one day recovering their meagre inheritance. The authorities were disappointed at the violinist's calm acceptance of his fate, and they seized his youngest child and made her part of the bargain. What did he prize most? His tired violin or his frightened baby? The violinist was silent. They built a pyre in the buttercup field opposite the violinist's small house and gave him a choice which should be burnt first, his baby or his violin. Which was the greatest treasure, his music or his youngest child? The music teacher came out of his frozen trance in horror that such a suggestion could pass through a human imagination. He threw himself at the monster who had suggested such a thing. The violin teacher was shot, and he was burnt on the pyre with his violin whilst his children watched. When the ashes cooled, they went in search of their inheritance, which to them was not the contents of the violin, but their father's charred bones. The imperishable contents of the violin case were discovered some months later when they came to cut the grass of the buttercup field. There was not so very much in gold, but enough to collect, sieve from the wood ash, and smelt with other Jewish Prague booty, and take to a center collecting point in Vienna, and then distribute to National Socialist accounts in the Deutsche Bank, including the branch in Baden-Baden, managed by Lieutenant Hapsch's brother-in-law. Lieutenant Hapsch collected the bar that contained the meagre inheritance of the violinist's children and tried to make that inheritance part of the inheritance of his own child. But he failed because of a white horse.